Happy long weekend, room 17, and happy grammar for this concept video. What we're learning today is all about main and subordinate clauses in complex sentences. And what I am looking for is the questions next door. Can you identify the main and subordinate clauses in some examples? All right, let's zoom in on the lesson and then we'll have a go. I've got a couple of different things going on here. I want to show you main clause, subordinate clause, and then hopefully you'll be able to understand what we are looking at. Let's get rid of subordinate clause for a moment and just talk about main clause. Now, a main clause in a sentence is a simple sentence. Now, I've got some examples just here. For example, a main clause could be, internet shopping is very popular today. That's a simple sentence. The subject is internet shopping, and then some details about it there. Another main clause, he went to the clinic. Simple sentence. The subject is he. Some more information is he's going to the clinic, and there's a verb there as well. So simple sentences, all they really need is a subject and a verb and the details about what is going on with that subject. Peter, subject. Was is the verb to be. Peter was excited. Simple sentence. And that's what we call a main clause. Let me highlight it for you. Main clause. Perfect. Okay. When it comes to subordinate clauses, I want to have a look at this guy right here. Okay? A subordinate clause usually contains one of these words. Okay, if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. And the acronym there, or the mnemonic, is I saw a wabub. I love using this one. It gives you a real handy hint to make your sentences complex. Because as soon as you add a subordinate clause, your sentences aren't so simple anymore. They become complex. I'm going to show you how I would go for it. And hopefully you'll be able to identify the subordinate clause in some examples. We're going to use this I saw a wabub example to make our sentences just that little bit more complex. I'm very excited to use it. The first sentence we've got there is internet shopping is very popular today. And that's a simple sentence. Internet shopping, the verb is to be. Very popular today is that extra bit of information. But what I'm going to do is add in a subordinating conjunction, one of these guys just here, to make it more complex. Okay. So at the end of a simple sentence, I'm not going to put a comma, but sometimes there's a comma involved, and I'll show you where normally that is. Internet shopping is very popular today. Let me have a think about why it is popular. Yes, I'm going to give a reason. Because is one of my I saw a wabub words. Because it is more convenient. Now, the reason that this is a complex sentence is this ending part, because it is more convenient, isn't a sentence on its own. If you said to somebody, Jimmy, because it is more convenient, Jimmy would respond with, what are you on about? because it's more convenient is not a sentence on its own. It doesn't have any weight. And if you said it on its own, it wouldn't really make any sense. So it needs to have a main clause to prop it up. Without a main clause, it makes no sense. Okay, we've challenged ourselves to do one. The next one is he went to the clinic. Now that's a main clause. That means he went to the clinic is a simple sentence on its own. But to make it more complex, we're going to add one of our I saw a wabub words. And this time I'm going to add it at the start. You can add these words in before a simple sentence, in the middle of a simple sentence, or at the end. This time I'm going to add it at the start. Okay? I'm going to add the word while. So that's going to be my I saw a wabub subordinating conjunction. While he was in the city, comma. Usually there's a comma at the start if you're adding a subordinate clause in. So while he was in the city, he went to the clinic. So the main clause there is he went to the clinic. And our subordinate clause is while he was in the city. Because while he was in the city is not going to stand alone. You can't just say, hey, Jimmy, while he was in the city, because Jimmy once again would say that makes no sense, mate. But it needs that main clause to prop it up. Final chance to have a look at our subordinate clause here. The simple sentence I've got for you is Peter was excited. Go on, Peter. He's really excited. But to make it more interesting and more complex, we're going to add a subordinating conjunction, one of these words, to make it more interesting, and adding a subordinate clause to create a complex sentence. Simple sentence is Peter was excited. I'm going to add the word after, and we're going to put that in the middle this time. So I'm going to put a comma after Peter, which is the subject. Peter, after seeing who had arrived, comma, was excited. So there, the main clause is here. So we're having a look at Peter, and also was excited. And the subordinate clause is this thing that doesn't stand alone on, but it does have a lot of meaning after it's added to a main clause. So subordinate clause there is after seeing who had arrived, was excited. So you can assume that Peter was excited because somebody has arrived that he quite enjoys, he quite likes. All right, those are the subordinate clauses in those ones. I'll highlight them once again. Remember, because it's more convenient, while he was in the city and after seeing who had arrived. Those are the subordinate clauses, and obviously the main clauses are the simple sentences. Finally, I wanted to show you a quick example of where you can put them and why they could be at any stage of a sentence. So I've got the simple sentence, Mr. Todd can't dance. I'm going to add a nice full stop at the end there. Now, a simple sentence can be made more complex at the start, at the end, or in the middle. So you could have the subordinating clause, since he has 2 left feet, and I can put that at the end to make a new sentence. I'm going to take that full stop away. And obviously it's no capital letter in the middle because it's the same sentence. So let's make sure I've got rid of that as well. So again, this is now a complex sentence because I've added a subordinating conjunction. That since is in our I, saw, or bub. Mr. Todd can't dance since he has 2 left feet. It's also possible to put a conjunction at the beginning. Since he has 2 left feet, Mr. Todd can't dance. And finally, I've put this one here so I can feed it in. Mr. Todd, since he has 2 left feet, can't dance. Now, with regard to subordinating conjunctions and subordinated clauses, your job is to work out what they are. Have a look at the questions, see how you go.